Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a stalker case, that of which is Laurie Show. Laurie was a student at Conestoga Valley High School and lived in Lancaster, Pennsylvania with her mother. On the 20th of December 1991, Laurie was getting herself ready for school. Her mother had already left. She was attending a meeting with Laurie's guidance counsellor. However, the counsellor did not turn up and her mother returned home. When she returned, her neighbour came out and informed her that she'd actually heard a lot of noise coming from the house. And Laurie's mum said that she did not think much about it, as obviously Laurie was a teenager. They are prone to make a lot of noise, so she just put it down to that basically. So her mother got to the apartment and went inside. She shouted Laurie's name but did not get a response. The lights were on still. She went up and checked the bathroom, but obviously she was not there. She then went into Laurie's bedroom, and this is where she found Laurie on the floor, surrounded by blood. She noticed that Laurie had a rope tied around her neck, and this is when she then ran to the kitchen to try and get a knife to cut it off. She managed to get her fingers underneath it and managed to cut the rope off, and this is when she heard Laurie moan. Thank God, at least she was still alive. Laurie's mum noticed that her neck had been slit. She cradled her daughter in her arms, and it was this moment Laurie told her who her attacker was. She said Michelle did it. She kept repeating the name over and over, and also kept repeating the fact that she loved her mother. The police were contacted and they did a full investigation into who did this to Laurie while she was getting ready to go to school. Laurie's mother told the police what Laurie actually said to her, and although paramedics worked to save Laurie's life, unfortunately they were not successful and she passed away. She was pronounced dead before leaving the bedroom, and there was nothing more they could do to help her. Her injuries were just so extensive. Laurie's mother knew who this Michelle was. Her name was Michelle Lambert, and she began harassing Laurie after she found out that Laurie had actually been dating her ex-boyfriend, Lawrence Yuckin, that summer. Laurie was not dating him any longer, and she'd said that the relationship only lasted a week. She told her mother that Lawrence had actually date raped her, but she didn't want to report this to the police as she feared it would just make him angrier. Michelle was reported to be obsessively jealous of Laurie. Michelle was pregnant with her ex and they had actually been dating again. Michelle continuously kept ringing Laurie, spouting abuse, saying that she'd ruined her life, that she had sex with Lawrence, etc. And if the phone wasn't answered, she just kept ringing. She just didn't give up. And in the end, Laurie's mother actually tried to change the phone number, make it unlisted, to stop these incessant calls from Michelle. Laurie worked in a dress shop and Michelle even turned up there. According to a witness, she came and verbally assaulted Laurie, and Michelle had expressed that she wanted to scare Laurie and for her to slit her throat. It was reported that obviously Laurie had become frightened of Michelle and she did try and avoid her. I have found out that one afternoon Laurie was outside the mall talking to some friends when Michelle and Lawrence drove past. Michelle then got out of the car, slapped Laurie across the face and apparently banged her head off the side of something. Laurie's mother actually went down to the police and filed an assault claim against Michelle, and it was a mere month after this that Laurie was actually murdered. Police actually did arrest Michelle, the ex-boyfriend, and Tabitha Black, which was Michelle's best friend. They were at a local bowling alley. They began, of course, interviewing everyone that knew Laurie or Michelle to find as much information as they could. And this is where they found that a lot of people were aware that Michelle had threatened Laurie, and even heard Michelle express that she wanted to hurt Laurie. It would seem that Michelle tried to even draw in her friends to try and hunt for Laurie. She was becoming that obsessed with her. In an interview, one woman came forward to state that Michelle had actually come up with a plot. She spoke about kidnapping Laurie, taking her somewhere to then slit her throat. Obviously, these are clear signs of obsession, and she was clearly stalking Laurie. Tabitha, when arrested, did have a gash on her right cheek, and pictures were taken of this injury. So when they were arrested, they separated the three and interviewed them separately. This was when Lawrence slipped up. He told the police that he did drop Tabitha and Michelle off at around 6:50 a.m. the morning Laurie was killed, near Laurie's house, and he left them to go and get a McDonald's. He then said around 15 minutes later he went back, but he couldn't find them, so he proceeded to drive around, and when he did eventually find the two girls, Michelle had blood in her hands. According to the reports, he then took them back to where they lived, where Michelle cleaned herself up, and he took Tabitha to school. He then stated himself and Michelle cleaned everything, got rid of the clothes, got rid of all the evidence. They put some in a dumpster and threw some in the river. Officers did find the evidence, which did include the blood-soaked clothes that they were wearing, as confirmed by Lawrence. Michelle did actually tell the police that she was there, but it wasn't her, it was Tabitha. She was the one that actually attacked Laurie, but of course this didn't match with the evidence that the police were collating. Michelle and Tabitha were taken to trial and convicted of first-degree murder and conspiracy in the death of Laurie on the 20th of July 1992. Michelle was ordered to serve life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, and just 2 months later, so was Tabitha. Michelle did in fact try and fight her conviction. She stated that Lawrence was the one who was present, and when she started to try to fight for Laurie, he ordered her to go out of the room, and because she was scared of him, because he was abusive, she obeyed. She then stated that she was framed by the police. She claimed that the evidence was tampered with, and after a few failed attempts, she was then released temporarily due to the fact that people did believe that her case would be overturned. And this was her 1997 appeal. She stuck to the story again. She was not involved in the murder. It was all Lawrence. He ordered her out of the room. She obeyed. Michelle's defense team questioned that would Laurie actually be able to speak with her throat actually being cut, and said that Laurie had written the initials of her killers in blood, which did match Tabitha and Lawrence. However, from what I could find, police didn't find any proof of this. They also didn't put forward that a witness had stated that he saw Lawrence near the property. And due to the fact that this witness was taken to the judge, this resulted in the release of Michelle in 1997. Michelle's freedom lasted around about 10 months when Laurie's case was brought forward again and all the information was proven incorrect. Michelle was then convicted of Laurie's murder. Lawrence did plead guilty as part of a plea deal, but has since been released. So this is a bit of a strange one. What do you guys think? Do you think that it was Tabitha? I feel like Michelle pretty much killed her out of jealousy, and she just was that obsessed that it just escalated, and she even threatened that she wanted to slit her throat. I believe that eventually the police caught the right person. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. I think that it's so sad that unfortunately Laurie succumbed to her injuries, and the fact that this was all caused due to a jealous ex, and they'd only been together a week. It just blows my mind. Anyway, that's all I have today, guys, on the Stalking case of Laurie Show. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!